you can draw this. So if you want to know how to draw this, keep watching this video. You will completely get an idea of how to draw this. And without further talking, let's get to the video. So today I'm going to draw one of my follower requests. His name is Sunil. So he requested me to draw his picture. So I already saved his picture. I'm going to add it now. Go to the settings, add, insert a photo, and yeah, so here it is. And I'm just going to resize it. First let me shrink this a little, and then I'm going to enlarge as much as possible. I'll stop here probably, and I'm going to reduce the opacity to 75 and then adding another layer, changing the color. I would take the kind of black but not very much black, and the brush would be inking and studio pen. Okay, so what I'm going to do is first I draw the boundaries and then start with shadings, filling the colors, and then we'll start with the shadows and highlights. So that's how this process is. So let's start with the shading. So let me just check if I've started that additional layer. Once in a while I used to draw it in the same layer. That's why I just used to check it once in a while. Okay. Just make sure you don't have any open lines in case you're drawing through Procreate. It's up to you to decide how much details you want to cover in this. So whichever is possible, whichever is clearly visible, you can do it. Which is not visible, you can even draw on your own if you want, or else you can try to blend something, bring some shapes, but it should not look awkward. That's important. Double tap to undo. I've been adding this or telling this in most of my videos. That's a really good option the Procreate team has added. Saves a lot of time. Who don't like shortcuts? So even Digitalart, we get a lot of advantages over doing the conventional, traditional art. I have been doing traditional art sometime, but then when this started saving me a lot of time, I started taking over this. Importantly, when I started taking this 365 days of art challenge, it saved me a lot of time. When I took this challenge, I don't know what to draw. So then I made a request to my followers that I'm open to draw free digital arts. And if somebody wants to share their photos, go ahead and share me. And then at some point of time, too many requests came because it's a free digital art, right? And then I don't know how to prioritize. People started sending me lots of messages. What happened to mine? When will mine be happening? And then I brought in some criterias. Okay, whoever is more active on my posts in Instagram, like giving a like, giving some comments, sometimes save the post or share it in your story, something like that, something that you also helped me back. And based on that, I started picking people to draw. This guy whom I'm drawing now, his name is Sunil, and he has been very active, very, very active. So I thought, why don't I start drawing him? Alright, I think the hair part is done. I just dropped it to check if there is any leak. Leak in the sense when if put the color, it should fill exactly within the boundaries. If there is an open, then it gets filled everywhere. So I just quickly check that. So the hair part is done. So the next thing I'm going to do is add another layer. So this will be the top. So the next is what I'm starting. I normally start with the eyes, the eyebrows, eyes, nose, lips, and then the face, neck. That's how I do it. So let's do the same way here also. So here I'm going to choose a little darker, not completely black again, a little darker. When I started drawing this, I started getting a lot of ideas of different curves and shapes that each people have it. The different shapes, anatomies, otherwise we call it anatomies. So I start getting an understanding of how it is. So now I've drawn this, I'm just going to fill it with this. Okay, so this is done. So I'm going to take one more layer for the eyes. So this time I'm taking the complete black, because eyes is the one which is important in a drawing and it should be highlighted very well. So I take the black here and yeah, just a little of thickness in the edge alone, because normally there will be eyebrows and there will be some shadows which is mixed up. So I try to blend it here. Oops, I think I drew a little different curve here. Okay. Since it's a boy, I cannot make too much of curves. If it's a girl, we can add more curve. I'll add some soon on the a women drawing also soon. So you can see the difference of how these curves change when we start drawing the different shapes there. And then I'm taking one more layer to draw the eyeballs. And this time, again I'm going to draw it with black. Filling it. There is a reason for drawing everything in different layers. You'll soon understand that. Okay, so the eyeball is done, and the next would be the white portion of it. So I'm going to choose blue and the most lightest part of the blue, something like this, and fill this. Okay. And then I'm going to make it lighter. See, that's first color. I just choose it for a reference, and then if it's too much of a bluish, then I try to make it more lighter. And then the next thing I'm going to do is, in the same layer, I'm going to swipe or do an alpha lock and choose a white color. And the brush I'm going to choose a soft brush, and I've set it up to 2 size, and then color it little. Maybe I can choose still more smaller. Yeah, and then color a little here white shade, so that gives a kind of little 3D effect. Because whichever is front or the embossed part, that used to be brighter, and the one which is going below is lighter. So that's the thing. And then now coming back to the eyeball, I first normally choose a brown, and then change it to brown color, and then try to make it a little more darker by using the magic wand, hue and saturation tool, by layer, and then I try to reduce the brightness. And then what I do is I add one more layer on top of this clipping mask, and I go to airbrushing and medium hard brush, and I choose white. Sorry, it's not medium, it's a complete hard brush, and I choose the white brush, and then what I do is I just swipe a little up. This is just to give a shining on the eyeball. Okay, just have to make sure both are of the same darkness. Okay, next what I do is I add another layer here and do a clipping mask, and then here I take black and I choose the I can choose monoline, and then oops sometimes it happens, and draw the eyeball. Keep your finger so it becomes a perfect circle. Okay, you can see that it becomes a perfect circle, and then drop the black inside, and then if you want to centralize it a little, you can centralize it, and almost the same eyeball we need to give there. So I'm going to swipe this, duplicate, I'm going to move this towards that side. Again, keep it in the center. Okay, and merge both these layers together, merge down, and then add only the borders. Since it's in a clipping mask mode, only what is there on this top layer will get drawn automatically. Whatever I draw here will not come. That's the advantage of this. Again, Procreate, Digitalart stuff. This really helps. All right. So this is done. The next thing is I'm going to make this a little blur. Okay, so I'm going to select Gaussian blur, and I'm going to just swipe a little. You see that? I'm just making a little blur, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this to the bottom. No, I'll keep this in the top itself this time. Yeah, I'll keep it this way. So there is a bottom shade and a white highlight, and then the next thing we need to do is just add one more layer and pick white, and again soft brush. So here you can give a white one here and a small dot here. Just make sure you have almost equivalent white size. Okay, so this almost gives a kind of an 3D effect. So the eyeball is done. So what I'm going to do is, for now I'm going to group this all together, keep it there. Then I'm going to go to the next layer, and I'm going to start with the nose part. Here what I'm going to do is I'm going to again go back to this original image, increase the opacity back to 100, make it completely visible, and then I'm going to pick the color picker, and I'm going to choose one color from this face. I normally used to take not the darker one but the most lightest one. For art it looks nice. Okay, this is the color I've chosen, and what I do is I will add this in my palette. Just keep that like that in the empty palette, you get the color, and then you reduce this back to 75%, and you can draw the nose now. Okay, Studio Pen. Few things may not be visible, but you have to just guess how it may be, and then you can draw it accordingly. These are all again only boundaries, kind of a rough sketch perspective. In a shortly some time after, you'll know why I'm using this, drawing this now, right now. And I use the same color, the opportunity with the same paint, to add the rest of the ones also. So here it is a little thicker and then lighter. So this studio pen has pressure sensitivity on. So when you give more pressure on the pen, it becomes thicker. And you give less pressure, it becomes thinner. So I'm just adding those details here. These are only for reference. And here also I'll just add these shapes here, only the shapes. The important shapes. Okay, so that's done for the nose part. And the dark part of it, I'm gonna just add one more layer and go back to this and just drop down, select a darker color and then just draw this shape here. Okay, so that's done. And the next one is lips. Again, I'm gonna move this back to 100% and then pick a color here. I've chosen a lighter color and take this back to 75%. And for the upper lips, again, I'm gonna draw one more, but this time a little more darker, because the upper lips normally will be darker than the lower lips. The one reason is the light is always falling on the lower lips area, so that will be more visible. So that's done. And then now coming to this face shape. So adding one more layer and I'm going to go into the color palette and going to choose the color which we initially picked. That will be the reference color for us throughout this. And now I'm going to draw the face shape. So here the jawline comes here and then the face comes here. So there's almost a shape here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to connect this two and then later bring some clarity when I try to do the shadows. So what I can do here is or I can bring this shape here. Okay, this works fine. So I'm going to add this, connect this to here, and then from here these are going to be in the background, so never mind about exactly tracing out, just bring a line here. That's all about it. And don't forget to join these lines, that's more important. So when you drop the color, it should fill in. Okay, and then for the ears separately, sometimes I draw them separately for a specific reason. When it is shading part, it helps me a lot when they are separate layers. I'm just checking whether the lines are complete. Alright, here is the last one. So the neck part. And then I'm going to join this like this. And then here, this also will be one of the bottommost layers, so it's okay to just draw the shape. Alright, so it's pretty much done, the important shapes. So now when you remove the background, it should look kind of near to what he was. So what I do is I just create a duplicate. I bring this one to the top of the layer, switch this on and resize this to smaller. So when I start shading, I look at that and I start do the shadings there. So let's increase the brightness. So if it looks somewhat nearby, similar, then I start the next steps. So now we start with the coloring part of it. So the hairs, so I think I choose this, so I'm going to drop this color there, and then for the face, the ears. The neck is done. And then this one, the one which I draw as a boundary, I'm going to just select the same option. I'm going to make it a little dark so that's visible. And the lips is what I can give a color there. So for lips, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the color picker, drop it, get the color. See how easy it is when you draw it through the Procreate app. Sometimes it does not get fully filled. There's a reason for it. Okay. I'll cover that up separately, part of the Procreate tips or tricks. So I think pretty much we have got kind of a shape now. The most important, this is like a 2D. We can give some more shading and make it a kind of a 2D, again an illustration vector image, but then if you want to make it 3D a little more, we need to give a shadings different in different styles. So each artist will have their own perspective of giving that. Okay, so I'm going to start with the face first. So what I'm going to do here is color picker. I will choose the same color, and then I'm going to go to the classic color palette. I'm going to choose a little darker color here, which does not lose its actual color, probably somewhat this way. And then I'm going to choose a different brush, which is sketching and bonobo chalk. So with this, I increase the brush size and I first start giving here, So what I need to do is, first I need to add a layer here and do a clipping mask. I can do it as well on this, but there are some errors that can happen. So I first do it here and then I merge it down if needed. So let's look how it comes. Okay, this is not even visible. So what I'm going to do is undo it. Okay, clear this layer and then pick a little more darker color and then try giving this shade. Okay, now what I'm going to do this, instead of making him look a little brownish, I'm going to make him look little still more brighter. Yeah, I think this is good. Let me change the rest of the thing. See, I choose a wrong layer. Let me finish the rest of the color changing also. Alright, and then going back to the clipping mask layer, and from here I'm going to choose a little darker color. Same brush, I'm going to add a little shade here. Maybe I'll make it a little more darker. Okay, that's a little. And if you see here, from this image it looks from this side is what the light is coming, this side is obviously dark sides. So I'm just going to shade here a little. See, when it comes to shading, you can do multiple times at trial and error. Okay, it's okay to check multiple times what you do there. Okay, I got pretty much the shape. So this has got pressure sensitivity, so I mean the screen and this app, so I press a little to bring more colors, and then a little here, till here. I reduce this brush size and then I give a little, let me move this closer. And give a little here. as well. I'm adding the first part of where could be possibly more shadows is what I'm doing here right now. Okay, on the nose part. This space. This space. And under the lips a little. Okay, and then I'll move to the ears section. Again, I'm going to add a layer on top of it, clipping mask. And then look at the ears, only the boundary is dark. Center part is kind of, when we look at the edges. So I'm going to select only the edge part of it. And make it darker. Here as well, kind of, not very much. And then there is some dark space here, so I'm gonna draw the dark one here. I will erase this finally. That's the reason I've just drawn this for reference. And make this little darker here. And here. These are dark spaces. Obviously, this is a dark space. Okay. Next comes the neck part. So I'm going to add a layer here, clipping mask, and then here also I'm going to do the same part of it. Slowly add the shades. And here I cannot do this pick the same because it almost looks same, so I'm going to make pick a little more darker one and then shade it here in the base. See that? A little darker than the top so that it's contrastingly visible. Okay. It again depends by each artist wise. They doesn't want to show it that way. Some people will try to show it. So I want to show that contrastingly. So pretty much done the kind of dark spots. Now let's start with the bright spots. Okay. We'll start from the neck itself. There is some white here, so I'm gonna add some white here. Now let's move to the ears. So the brush got changed once in a while. I've just set this shortcut, so sometimes by mistake I can touch that. Just focus on where the lights are and then just replicate the same in your drawing. You will almost get the kind of the missing 3D parts there. You can keep adding, removing, adding and removing, and then finally you'll get it. It's again by doing multiple trial and errors is how you can learn. To be honest, I've been drawing for many days. At some point of time is what I too learned to draw this. Sometimes I draw a little extra just to make it a little more better than how it is. And then coming to the face, it all needs to be a little only, not too much. That's very important. Just make sure you don't add too much of colors there. And choose the right brush sizes. Again, this you will learn as you keep moving, keep practicing again and again. I'm pretty sure you will learn it quick. It's not that tough as you think. So where else we have some lights? Maybe this place a little. Eyes. This place and this place is normally the bulged area, so you need to give some white shades here and here as well. This is default. Every drawing, I think this place you have to give that shade, and then the white shade in this place. Okay, so we have kind of got some of it. Still there are some paintings. Now what I do is, now I go pick a different brush. I got this from Procreate team. They gave me this free brushes, Edge 2.0. Very, very useful. I've been keep telling this multiple times in most of my videos because I was a little confused how to bring few shapes. Then I was never able to achieve it until I got this particular thing. Or I used to achieve, but I need to do some extra works. I can explain that later. But the message is so the message is this brush is really good. So here I'm just trying to bring these lines here. So this brush, you see that one side will be sharp, one side will be blur. So I'm gonna use this option to bring these shapes. That's the reason I just drew this and kept it so that I can use it whenever I want. So if we remove those nose lines now, what is missing is the nose boundaries. Okay, so let me switch this back on and then work on this nose boundaries a little. So there is some shape here and then there is a shape here. So what I'm going to do here is add the shape here. And add the shape here as well. Okay, so I almost kind of got it. Not very much perfect. I still have some details missing here. So this also has to get closed. Slight bulge there. Oh, that's for the ears. That's a separate layer. I need to draw it later. And then what else? Probably I can add this part here. And probably add a little shape here. Very light. It's too much. And what else? He's actually smiling, so I need to make him a little smiling. So I think I'll add a little here, kind of this shape. This is just slightly is what I'm adding it, because he has got that kind of a shape there. And what else? What else? If I remove those lines now, how does it look? I think the eyes is something I need to work on. Right? I will choose a little more darker color here alone. And draw it thicker here. Thicker and thinner and thicker. I'm probably missing something here. Okay. And then I have to make this place much more darker. That's what I understand from that. To do that as well. So what I'm going to do is increase this size and then maybe choose a little brownish. Then let me know in my comments if I'm really teaching well or if I'm not teaching good. If there is something I can change, I can change. I'm also a learner. I can leave it that way. That's done. I'm going to add a little more darker spaces here. Okay, so I'm going to pick a little darker here and then add some here just to make it look better. I keep trying different strokes and see which one is comfortable, and then I finally choose that, as I said earlier. So kind of bear with me. I think that's the right way for an artist to learn as well. So let's add some shades here. Maybe the hair also, I think I can add a little. Same for neck also here. I'm gonna add it a little darker. I think this one I will not choose from this. I will choose from the sketching, this chalk brush, and then in that I'll give this. I think that would be better. So I'm kind of thinking it's pretty much done, except few places. So some of the missing white shades, I need to give something here. This guy is having some light in this place. So I'm gonna add a good light here. Okay, and then the lips part, what I do is I just do alpha lock and choose the same lip color, but then choose a darker one and go with the boundary. Just make it little darker, just the boundaries. And this place should be definitely much darker because that's the place where the most of the shadows appear. The same thing applies here. Pick the color of the lips and then make it a little darker, and then just go ahead and color a little there, shades. And this place also you need to make it darker, the other side. And then finally pick the white. What you can do is actually you can select this place and pick a little lighter color here and then just shade a little here, okay, and then on top of it you can give a little more, so that gives a little shining effect there, okay. And the hair part is completely dark there if you see the image, so I'm just thinking of what we can do there. So what I'm going to do here is, I think the dark, much more darker black is what is supposed to be, and since it has been it didn't pick the color properly, I'm trying to make it dark and then choose a little lighter color. So some places it has not filled in, so I'm just trying to fill in now. Guys, if at all somebody looking at this are also trying, do draw it and then post it on my Instagram. Post it on the Instagram by tagging me, so I can also look at it. It will really make me happy to see somebody also is trying this. So do try it, and it's not necessarily definitely you need to try it with this Procreate app only. You can use different apps, or you can even try it with your general paper and pencil, color pencils. If you could do it, I really wanted to see how it look. Okay, so do tag me in if you guys are doing it. I'm excited to see that if somebody's gonna try. Okay, so here what I'm going to do is, since for him the shade is completely black, which we cannot predict what we can do there, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add one more layer, clipping mask, and I'm going to choose the kind of a gray, light gray, and choose the Edge 2.0 brush, and just give some shades here. So you see that? Okay, just some shades like this, which will take the shape of his hairs. I think this side it looks like this. This curve is not good, so let me try it again. Here, and something like this. And this can go like this, so he's combing it like this. Okay, and then pick the dark color, and then along with that maybe you can draw it. Just adding some random colors, nothing in specific. If it looks nice, I'm leaving it like that only. If it does not look nice, then I'm removing it. That's what I'm trying to do here now. Okay, I think I can change this hair a little darker. It's very dark. No, keeping it to this level. Yeah, this looks better. Alright, the last final touches I would like to do is some of these areas. To make it a little more brighter here. And these places more darker. Just these places. I can either keep it dark or I can leave it like that. It is just that point of time when Sunil has taken his picture, he's looking dark in that spot, but it need not be that you need to maintain the same. It is just up to you as an artist to decide. Sometimes they need exactly like what they see in the picture, or sometimes they like better than what they see it in the picture. So I try to sometimes leave it that way. Are there any darker spots I missed? And of course shadows here of the top nose, so don't have much of a shadow there, so I'll leave it like that. The top lips is a little more darker, so I'll just make it still darker. Okay, so I'm pretty much done. So what I'm going to do next is, alright, so this eyes part of it, I can think of whether I need to change this guy's eyes. Let's try to see if something looks better. We can change the eye color. About this, or just black. So if you're seeing this and you feel that this eye would be nice, please leave a comment. What color eyes would have been better, or what should I try in the next art? And if somebody, one of you are watching this, also wanted art, go ahead and send me a message in Instagram. My Instagram ID is parthaartz. You can follow me and then you can send me a request. I will try to draw it sometime sooner. And we gave a small part, right, for the nose. So this one I'm going to make a little blur, just to merge with the art. And anything else I'm missing? Okay, fine. So I leave it here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to merge all this together down. Merge this. This all will become a single layer. I kept it an individual layer until now because if at all there is something I need to change, I can change. Okay, so now I don't need this group, and I don't need this also. It's part of the nose, so I can move this to here, and then I can merge this with this. So now I can try, okay, this also I can merge it with this. This I can merge with this. I'm trying to reduce the number of layers. And then what I do is I create a duplicate of this, and then I flatten. So I got an image there, and then I go to saturation, layer, reduce it to black. You see that it changed to black, and then I just move a little sideways and then tap on it with 2 fingers and then reduce the opacity, and then Gaussian blur, make it look like shadow. So I can keep it this way or keep it this way. So with this hair it looks nice, so I'll keep it here like this. Oh. Alright, so that's it, I think. Just move it a little to the center, and I will add my signature and insert a photo, and then here it is. If I need to know the center of it, and then I reduce the brightness a little. Yeah. So this is all how I do digital art. If you like it, do give a thumbs up. Do subscribe if you're not subscribed. I'll be keep posting more, and you can also request your art. And for now it's free. I'm planning to do it free until I finish my 365 days of art challenge. And leave a comment if you like it. If you don't like it something, do leave a comment for that also. Okay, and until then, see you next time in the video. Thanks for watching. Bye.